I just wanted to see if anyone can hear me.
Yes, we can. We hear you.
That's great. Thank you. I'm going to turn the video on for just a second. Get a close up of my face, I'm assuming.
Yep. No, we're
Very good. Most of the time, the face, I'm going to stay with the
mhm.
video off.
Okay.
Unless that's a problem, let me know.
Andy, are
Yes,
are you going to have your video on?
I was going to turn it off, actually.
I would
Uh,
recommend turning it off.
okay, so I'm going to turn it off. I'm in a little tiny room in a hotel in nowhere land. So, which I had to rent because my regular hotel room doesn't work. So,
Okay,
all righty, I'll turn the video. Let's see. Now I got to figure out how to make it all work again. Stop video. There we go. Now
there
I'm
we
gonna
go.
mute.
That's that. Yeah.
Nobody really wants to see my ugly face anyway.
No, it's that. It's the your weird backlit and the angle's weird, and you look really tired. I don't.
The re
And
the
then
reason
you
I
know
look
how it
tight.
is. You're always the same size as they do them side by side, so you'll be huge.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the advice. And the answer to being very tired is correct.
Okay. All
It
right.
was a very long day today.
You look like
Very
you're
hot.
having a great time.
I am having a phenomenal time. But it was like 97 or 98 degrees and put in a ton of walking. So I'm feeling it.
Yeah, I can
Anyway,
imagine.
all right. Well, I'm going to mute this just so I don't end up doing something silly. And when the meeting starts, which should happen in a few minutes, I'll open up when I need to. Thanks.
Okay, we will call this meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Santa Clara Unified School District Board of Trustees on June 25th. It is 5:01 p.m. We will do roll call. Trustee Canova is absent. Trustee Fairchild?
Here.
Trustee Muirhead? Here. Trustee Rotterman? Is Trustee Rotterman online? Okay.
Is he on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
do we hear waves in the background?
On mute.
Here, there he is.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Trustee Ryan?
Here.
Trustee Watanabe is absent and I am here. Okay, may I please have the introduction of our interpreter?
Good evening. Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Verónica Navarro. Mi compañera Angélica Benítez y yo vamos a ser las intérpretes en español de esta noche. Bienvenidos a la reunión de la mesa directiva. Esta reunión está siendo transmitida en el canal de español en Zoom. Para escuchar esta sesión en español, oprime el botón que dice interpretación en su pantalla y seleccione el lenguaje español. En este menú también puede seleccionar la opción para silenciar el audio original en inglés. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Trustee Fairchild.
Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The mission of Santa Clara Unified School District is to provide equitable, engaging, and innovative educational experiences so that each student thrives in a global society. Graduates of Santa Clara Unified School District are resilient, future-ready, lifelong learners who think critically, solve problems collaboratively, and are prepared to thrive in a global society. Santa Clara Unified School District acknowledges that our schools are on the traditional lands of the Tamiyan Nation, the Aboriginal American Indian tribe of Santa Clara Valley. We pay respect and thanks to their people, both past and present. Okay, we need to review and accept the agenda. Before I ask for a motion, I have questions about an item on consent, so I wanted to pull item I-43.
With that change, move to approve the agenda.
Second, Rotterman.
Okay, thanks, Andy. Okay. Trustee Canova is absent. Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead? Yes. Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe is absent and I vote yes. So that passes 5-0 with two trustees being absent. Guidelines for public policy at a board meeting. Board Policy 1313 is our civility policy. This policy is intended to promote mutual respect, civility, and orderly conduct among district employees, parents, and the public. This policy is not intended to deprive any person of his or her right to freedom of expression, but only to maintain, to the extent possible and reasonable, a safe, harassment-free workplace for our students and staff. In the interest of presenting district employees as positive role models to the children of this district, as well as the community, SCUSD encourages positive communication and discourages volatile, hostile, or aggressive actions. The district seeks public cooperation with this endeavor. The board understands that the First Amendment provides strong protection for speech. However, the board expects that all speech and expression will comport with norms of civil behavior on district grounds, in district facilities, during district activities or events, and in the use of district electronic digital systems and platforms. I do not have any slips for closed session agendized comment. Is there anyone in the room that would like to speak to that? Is there anyone in the Zoom? Okay, so we will close comment on closed session agendized items. In closed session, the board will be reviewing the following items. B1, consideration of the reinstatement of expelled student with suspended enforcement, student 052225A.1. B2, consideration of the waiver of administrative hearing, student 062526A.1. B3, public employee appointment, Government Code Section 54957.6, management, assistant principal, Scott Lane Elementary. B4, public employee appointment, Government Code Section 54957.6, management, vice principal, Wilcox High School. B5, public employee appointment, Government Code Section 54957.6, management, purchasing manager, fiscal services. B6, public employee discipline dismissal release, Government Code Sections 54957 and 54954.5E. And B7, conference with labor negotiators, Government Code Sections 54957.6 and 54954F. Agency representatives Damon Wright, Superintendent, Jose Gonzalez, Assistant Superintendent, Human Resources, and Mark Shield, Deputy Superintendent, Chief Business Official. Employee organizations, UTSC, CSEA, AFT, and unrepresented employees. The board will be back from closed session at 6:30. Thank you. Okay, the board is returned from closed session. May I please have the introduction of our interpreter?
Mi nombre es Angélica Benítez, mi compañera Verónica Adams y yo vamos a ser las intérpretes en español de esta noche. Bienvenidos a la sesión de la mesa directiva. Esta sesión está siendo transmitida en el canal en español de Zoom. Para escuchar esta sesión en español, opriman el botón que dice de interpretación en su pantalla y seleccionen el lenguaje de español. En ese menú también podrán seleccionar la opción de silenciar el audio original en inglés. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you. And the report from closed session. Item B1, in closed session, the Board of Trustees discussed the recommendation of staff and related evidence regarding reinstatement of expulsion with a suspension of enforcement of student 052225.5A.1. Item B2, in closed session, the Board of Trustees discussed the recommendation of staff and related evidence regarding expulsion with a suspension of enforcement of student 62526A.1. Item B3, the board received information. Item B4, the board received information. Item B5, the board received information. Item B6, the board received information and took action. Tonight, the Board of Education voted 5-1 to ratify the termination of certificated employee number 7419. The employee chose not to participate in the Skelly hearing, leaving the underlying charges uncontested. The board has authorized district administration to take all necessary steps to finalize this matter. The roll call vote was as follows. Ayes, Andy Rotterman, Michelle Ryan, Jody Muirhead, Vicky Fairchild, Bonnie Lieberman. Absent, Jim Canova. Abstentions, Kathy Watanabe. Item B7, the board received information. Okay, we'll move now to our report from the superintendent, Dr. Wright.
All right, good evening. Short report tonight. We had an opportunity to attend the LMI conference with our labor partners, President Lieberman and some executive cabinet members. The opportunity to re-engage ourselves in a partnership. I thought it was the time spent was time well spent. Gave us an opportunity to discuss some of the things that transpired through the year and also build a foundation for our next steps. So I'm very pleased with the outcome, and I'm looking forward to the fall when we're able to do a nice reset and also bring our staff and our community along with us. And it's summertime in terms of executive cabinet. We're in deep planning for the 26-27 school year, and we're looking forward to having an outstanding launch. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move now to our reports from our union presidents. Ms. Wysocki.
I'm going to beat that short report with a shorter report. So it's summer, so I don't actually prepare anything. I wanted to say that my comments tonight were also about LMI in San Diego. It was time well spent, as was our reflection meeting we had yesterday and trying to plan for moving forward. UCSC continues to be committed to the work, and we look forward to looking at building our partnership next year. Thank you.
Ms. Alpin.
Good evening, Board President Lieberman, trustees, Ms. Burrell, and Dr. Wright. Oh, still can't manage that one. Okay. I'd like to begin my final report for the 25-26 school year by thanking the district and the board for bringing the SLPAs into the bargaining unit and ending a long contract agreement. I'd also like to share my experience attending the CalMI conference in San Diego with our LAMPS group, and thank you for supporting this work. Hearing the board's perspective through this was very helpful to me. Before attending, I wasn't sure what to expect. As a classified leader, I'd heard the word partnership used a lot, often as a threat when things were falling apart. but I hadn't seen what it really looked like in practice, especially over this past year. This conference gave me a different perspective about partnership. It isn't about always agreeing, it's about listening with intention, respecting different perspectives, and remaining committed to a shared purpose, even when the work's hard. One of my biggest takeaways was that this work can't stay in the district office for it to be meaningful to classified. It has to reach our schools and our departments. It has to help shape the relationships between classified employees and their administrators, managers, and supervisors. That's where classified employees experience the culture of this district every single day. I also spent time reflecting on my own role. I often carry the longstanding concerns and feelings of inequity that many classified employees have experienced over the years. Part of my responsibility is to bring those perspectives forward, especially when others at the table have not lived those experiences themselves. My hope is that we continue to strive for intentional inclusion so classified employees are recognized and not just as support staff, but as essential partners in building a stronger system for our students. Together, we have an opportunity to build a culture where every employee feels valued, respected, and empowered to contribute. And with that, I want to wish you all a wonderful summer break, and I'll see you in August. Thank you.
Thank you. We will move now to a public comment on unagendized items. I have 2 slips, so I will read our board policy on civility. Board policy 1313 is our civility policy. This policy is intended to promote mutual respect, civility, and orderly conduct among district employees, parents, and the public. This policy is not intended to deprive any person of his or her right to freedom of expression, but only to maintain, to the extent possible and reasonable, a safe, harassment-free workplace for our students and staff. In the interest of presenting district employees as positive role models to the children of this district as well as the community, SCUSD encourages positive communication and discourages volatile, hostile, or aggressive actions. The district seeks public cooperation with this endeavor. The board understands that the First Amendment provides strong protection for speech. However, the board expects that all speech and expression will comport with norms of civil behavior on district grounds, in district facilities, during district activities or events, and in the use of district electronic digital systems and platforms. So you will have 2 minutes. The timer is above Trustee Canova. When the timer goes off, that means your time is up. If you have not finished your comment, you can email it to the board so that we can see your comments in their entirety. When you come up to the podium, you'll press the button on the bottom of the microphone. The bottom of the microphone will turn green. That means it is on, and you can proceed to speak. My 2 slips are from Anthony Becker and Abel Becker.
There we go. Okay. Good evening. Before anyone dismisses these remarks as a personal attack or harassment, let me be clear. This is about public accountability. Everything I'm raising comes from matters that have already been discussed publicly, directly relates to whether an individual can be trusted to serve on this board and make decisions that affect our children's future. For nearly 10 years, I have watched what I believe is a pattern of conduct by board member Kathy Watanabe that has damaged public trust. In 2016, false statements were made about me and my campaign and others in their campaigns about that were later dismissed as a mistake. In 2021, after Councilmember Park was denied an opportunity to speak at the Stop Asian Hate rally, Kathy's lying about it ultimately resulted in her censure. As a council member, Kathy refused to take a photo with outgoing Assistant Chief Dan Winters, frequently distanced herself from colleagues and photos, verbally confronted my husband at the 2022 Parade of Champions breakfast, and later attended my court hearings while refusing to acknowledge me or my fellow elected officials, which I heard she does to her school board members too. Board member Vicky Fairchild has publicly stated that she was bullied for confidential closed session information by Mayor Gilmore. What's not to say Kathy Watanabe won't deliver the same. Based on her record, in 2022, Kathy Watanabe accused me of abusing her in closed session and shared those allegations publicly with the media. An independent investigation she initiated found those allegations to be unsustained, no apology or correction followed. Is that what we want our children to understand? My court hearings were also described that Kathy was disclosed a confidential grand jury report, a violation of her elected duty, calling into question whether elected officials are being held to the same standards. This is exactly why character and conduct matter. School board members are entrusted to have model integrity, professionalism, and respect and ethical leadership for the students they serve. Today, the Kathy Watanabe's acting voters trust her to be their mayor. Her campaign promises, I think, are empty because her actions speak louder than words and contradict those promises. Therefore, for those reasons, especially the disclosure of confidential information and the pattern of conduct I have outlined, I believe Kathy Watanabe should suspend her mayor campaign and resign from the school board immediately. Public trust depends on equal accountability, and no elected official should be held to a different standard than anyone else. Thank you.
I press it, or it's already on? It's on. Good evening, board members. I would like to share my personal experience that has shaped my opinion of Trustee Kathy Watanabe and her fitness for public office. Several years ago, like my husband mentioned, we were having breakfast at the Parade of Champions here in Santa Clara. It was an ordinary morning until Kathy Watanabe entered the restaurant. At that time, she was serving as a city council member. Our table, and the first words that came out of her mouth was, "I don't know who you think you are." She then proceeded to berate me in front of my husband and everyone else in the restaurant regarding comments I had made on her Facebook page. I want to emphasize that before this, I had not met her in person. This had never been a formal introduction, and she chose to confront me publicly in a restaurant over online political discourse. I feel like she wants to say something right now. Is there something you'd like to say?
I have,
Oh, she wants to stop me from talking because this really happened.
Dr. Wright is,
Can I reclaim my time? Okay, thank you.
we need to allow it, correct? Okay.
Thank you. Whether one agrees or disagrees with comments made on social media, public officials are regularly exposed to criticism. That comes with responsibility of public service. What concerned me was not the disagreement, it was the manner in which the disagreement was expressed. I found the interaction confrontational, intimidating, and deeply inappropriate for an elected official. Leadership requires patience, restraint, professionalism, and the ability to engage with people, even critics, with respect and composure. Public officials will inevitably encounter viewpoints they dislike. The true measure of leadership is how they respond to these moments. Well, I'm out of time, but if anyone has experienced this, please speak up. Don't be silent. Don't let others try to stop you from saying your truth. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other unagendized comment in the room? Is there anyone on the Zoom that would like to speak to unagendized comment? That's okay. No, okay. Okay, we will move on now to G1, which is a public hearing and action. Public hearing for the 2026 developer fee justification study.
Move to open the public hearing.
Second, Fairchild?
Trustee Canova. Trustee Fairchild.
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead. Trustee Rotterman.
Yes.
Trustee Ryan.
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe.
Yes.
And I vote yes, so the hearing is open. Is there anyone in the room that wishes to speak to the public hearing? Okay. Is there anyone online that would like to speak to the public hearing?
I apologize. My technology is not working, but no, there is not anyone else.
Okay.
Move to close public hearing.
Second, Rotterman.
Okay, I have a motion of trustee Ryan, a second of trustee Muirhead, trustee Canova, trustee Fairchild,
Yes.
trustee Muirhead,
Yes.
trustee Rotterman,
Yes.
trustee Ryan,
Yes.
trustee Watanabe.
Yes.
And I vote yes, so that is closed, 7-0. G2, SCUSD Developer Fee Justification Study and Resolution number 26-41 to adopt the developer fee study and increase of fees.
Move to approve.
Ryan.
Second, Fairchild?
Trustee Canova, trustee Fairchild,
Yes.
trustee Muirhead, Trustee Rotterman,
Yes.
trustee Ryan.
Yes.
Trustee Watchanabe.
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 7-0. Consent items H1 and 2.
Move to approve. Second, Ryan.
Trustee Canova. Trustee Fairchild.
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead. Trustee Rotterman.
Yes.
Trustee Ryan.
Yes.
Trustee Watchanabe.
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 7-0. Consent items I1 through I42.
Move to approve.
Second, Rotterman.
Rotterman. Yeah, I'm gonna do those in a separate tranche. 43. I1 through I42. Was that trustee Rotterman?
Or
Yes.
is it 54?
Well, it's I1 through I42 and I guess I44 to I54.
Right, okay, yeah. And I moved to approve.
Ryan and Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Canova? Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead?
Yes.
Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watchanabe?
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 7-0. So on item I43, I just had a question on, my question is specifically on Schoolitics. Is that going to be piloted or is it rolling out to all the sites at one time?
I'll start and then Director Lewis can add to it if he'd like, if that's okay.
Yeah.
The purpose of Schoolitics is to meet the needs of the North Star document and the dashboard. So the public facing dashboard that will show our data, right? I mean, I think that ultimately, anytime you test out a new program, it sort of is a pilot, right? Because it's a 1-year contract. So if it doesn't work out for us, we certainly don't need to re-up the ante in the future. But our goal is to have a district-wide public-facing dashboard and then also provide dashboards to each of the individual school sites as well during this school year to test it out and see how we can continue to track data about our students to inform instruction and decisions made on interventions and other services we're providing to them over the course of the year. So I guess I'm not really answering your exact question in terms of pilot or a big rollout. Formative is closely related to Schoolitics because they're both the Newsela
Right.
programs. And the formative is for the teachers specifically to help them with formative assessments and things like that. That will be piloted in their first semester and then rolled out large scale, assuming things go well and we get positive feedback from the teachers and principals, administrators who are looking into it. But I think back to Schoolitics, if it doesn't work well, we can not re-up the contract moving forward.
So we're not just selecting a couple of schools and piloting it. It's going to be all 31 or 32 or whatever.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
It was my understanding that I don't know that we really discussed the piloting with them because once we buy Schoolitics for the district, access for all of the schools comes with it.
With it?
And it
Okay.
wasn't additional money, I don't think, too. Is that accurate? A hugely additional money?
Sorry, so there's actually two, for the Schoolitics, there's two things that are happening. There's a separate cost for the public facing dashboard, which is something that they build. It's completely separate from our SIS, and so there's no potential for identifiable student information to be set in a public setting. Now, the other part of it is, as Ms. Meltzer was just saying, would allow us to provide customizable dashboards for every single one of our school sites. And in addition to that, departments as well, as we seek to define our own ROI metrics. And so, again, it would be something full scale. All school sites would have access to it, and then all departments would as well immediately.
Okay. And then on the public facing, what data is public facing? So like, is it by grade level? Is it by school site? Like what, if as a parent, what will I see on the school website?
So, go ahead. Well, Mr. Lewis and I have had multiple conversations about bringing a group of people together to decide what that looks like from all parts of the district to be a part of that conversation. As I said in a previous conversation that some people in this room were a part of, Mr. Lewis cares deeply about data privacy. So there will be no recognizable data
Okay.
on the forward-facing dashboard. Similar to the California dashboard, there's no individualized data that anyone can see. And oftentimes if you see areas grayed out in the dashboard, it's because the N size was too small and there are privacy concerns if we publish that data. So obviously utilizing those types of expectations would be utilized for us as well, because
Okay.
student privacy is the first most important thing in this whole entire conversation.
That was going to be my next question, was if the N size is too small, you know, particularly at our smaller elementary schools where we may have 1 or 2 grades at a grade level where data, you could say, oh, I know who that is. So there is a discussion about N size and what would be public facing.
100%. And we have to invite a group of people, educational partners together to have that conversation about what makes the most sense and what is needed to meet the needs of the people who are actually going to be looking at the data.
Okay.
So
Thank
that
you.
is a part of the plan for the coming school year.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Canova.
A couple things come to mind. First of all, so the data that is for the community, for the parents, can't hear me? Can you hear me? No? No? Hold on.
Jim, can you use your microphone?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Andy, I had one that the green light was on, but it wasn't functioning, Andy. So calm down.
Okay.
So anyway, for the information that is for the public, but not student specific, but for the public to see how we're doing, to what extent, this is one question, then I have another. To what extent are we working with Jen in terms of just PR? Because we always talk as a board about trying to have that information out there for the public. Also, this data, I mean, is it the good, the bad, and the ugly? Is it something that you're going to distill and put our best foot forward, or is it just going to be everything there it is, there's all, we're doing great here and not so great there? I mean, is there going to be some thought in terms of what goes to the public? And then in terms of the contract itself, is it a 6-month contract? Is it a 12-month contract? Does it automatically roll over? If you decide you just don't like this vendor, what are the financials in getting out of the contract?
I'll let Mr. Lewis start. I was going to use your first name.
That's fine. So as far as the contract goes, it is a 1-year school year to school year. We have the potential to do a multi-year. Data and assessment has not yet brought a multi-year contract, but in working with the vendor, they did tell us that there is a potential to put a sort of an escape clause in a multi-year contract if we decided to do that. That basically says that if we were unhappy with the product, we could end it after a year or so.
That hasn't been put there yet.
No, it has not. So because that has not been decided yet for a multi-year, this is for a single year. The one that is
Not I'm only 1 of 7, but I'd like a 30-day escape clause. That's just me.
Got it. So, well, the contract that is in front of you now does not consider that multi-year. It is the full year. In terms of the data that would be available to the public, I think you were saying the measures. Oh, okay. So I'll do the PR first. So as Ms. Milser was saying, there is a plan right now to have several work groups develop this model. So this is really something that myself and the director of IT, Joe Ayala, have been in concert with. And the idea is that we would have a leadership group that would consist of leaders from his department and mine that designs this entire process of what the rollout would look like. But then after that, there is a implementation group that I've been in conversations with Jen about including members of her team, particularly Philippa, who knows many things about ADA compliance and things of that nature, but certainly her eye in relation to how we communicate things out. So a diverse group of people. We are seeking to have site administrators as a part of that, parents, teachers, and union representation as well. And that is to flesh out all of the design principles that we want to raise concerns as it relates to identifiable information. And then that work group will then be followed by another work group. And the idea is that that is when we would bring that design to our public and ask questions about, does this meet the degree of transparency that we learned during the 100-day report? That was really the impetus, right, for bringing this to our district. So have we gotten it right? Would be that moment. And then we would have an official rollout of the dashboard following those meetings. Yes, or her team.
Make a motion to approve this contract.
Second, Fairchild?
Okay, I have a slip on this item from Marky Wysocki.
So I think I'm before you with some requests. So I appreciate the questions that were asked about this contract, and I don't actually have problems with the contract itself. I do have concerns about a dashboard. We all know that student privacy is important, and we're all going to take that to account. But I also think in this day and age that we live in now, that teacher privacy is also important. And when we are I worry about a public-facing dashboard with declining schools, with our schools declining, because you don't actually have to put someone's name on something to know who it is. So I worry about that. And I want us, in this day and age where we have increased complaints, a lot of increased complaints against all kinds of people, that we want to make sure that we are maintaining our teachers and protecting them as well. My second concern I have or request is that we use when we're talking about the pilot of the program, that we use the model that we used in the early literacy, that we are intentional about who pilots, that we have a good cross-representation across our district of who will be piloting, so that we know the information that we get is valid for our entire system. And I was in the meeting that we had, could have been day before yesterday, maybe yesterday, I don't know, summer brain. And that is a request that I made, but I want us to look through those lenses as we're rolling out these new programs. We live in a different world now in education, and I think we have to pay attention to that when we do these new programs.
Is there anyone else in the room that would like to comment on this item? I don't have any other slips. Okay, so I have a motion from Trustee Muirhead and a second from Trustee Fairchild. Trustee Canova?
Yes.
Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead? Yes. Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe?
Yes.
I vote yes, that passes 7-0. J1, second reading board policy updates recommended from policy committee meeting, May 12th, 2026.
Move to approve, Ryan?
Trustee Canova?
Yeah, I have Ratterman's mic right here. This is powerful. Yes.
Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead? Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe?
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 7-0. J2, Resolution 2653, addition to the 2026 board meeting calendar. This would add a meeting on July 17th.
To approve. Second, Ryan?
Trustee Canova?
Yes.
Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead? Yes. Trustee Rotterman,
Yes.
Trustee Ryan,
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe.
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 7-0. Item K1, the North Star, bringing coherence to SCUSD. Dr. Wright.
All right. Good evening. Tonight I'm here to present the North Star plan that we have for you this evening. When we started this process, I remember having a conversation and stating that this was not really the ideal time to do a strategic plan when the district was in the midst of going through right sizing and significant staff reductions. It was a tough time to do it because essentially we're asking our staff to plan for the future while it was uncertain at the same time. And I really felt that it was important to move forward because as I did my listening and learning through the first 100 days, the number one thing that I heard is we need coherence, we need alignment, we need some systems, we need some structure. And I also felt that it was important to honor the work that's happened over the last several years. In my conversations, I also heard we do a great job of developing plans. And when we get those plans, sometimes we fall short when it comes to the implementation of them. So I wanted to make sure that those plans came to life and we gave voice to them. So I felt that although it was not the ideal time, that it was a necessary time so that we can start next year with the plan. Now, the purpose of the North Star is to provide direction, coherence, and accountability across our organization. It's going to serve as a framework. Our efforts to align our efforts, our decision-making, and also make sure that we remain focused on the outcomes that were collaboratively developed with our educational partners. And it also gives us an opportunity to establish metrics, something that we talked about throughout this year, to determine whether the work that we're doing is really moving the needle and holding ourselves accountable for that work. It's also important to remember that this North Star document, we have to remain nimble. It's a working document. And that all the work that we're doing within our district is not represented in this document. And as we continue to collect data, we have to know that we have to be nimble enough to make any type of course directions that are needed on an annual basis. I do want to thank, there's a lot of people that went into this process. I want to thank our consultants, Diane Siri, Julie Half, Valerie Pitts. They read over 60 documents, synthesized that information, and gave us the foundation to put this plan together. They also facilitated community engagement events and worked with executive cabinet behind the scenes. I got to thank Jen DeRico, who is our point person for the district and working with our consultants, and also our director, Cameron Lewis, who did an amazing job putting together the metrics. Our executive cabinet, administrators, staff, students, and community. I want to thank everybody for coming out and giving input, particularly during a difficult time this year. Go back one. The document that you see in the board packet, like I mentioned, it represents work that occurred through the 60 plans over the last few years, the superintendent search, the first 100-day conversations that I had with our educational partners, and all the existing plans, particularly from the next 100 days. And again, we also had the stakeholder input session in person. We did some virtually, and we also had the survey options with our community members. So tonight, I'm not going to read every pillar to you, but what I would like to do is just walk you through the document so you can kind of have an idea of what you're looking at. So as you look at the North Star document, if you look at the top of the page, you're going to find our belief statements. We have our vision, our mission, and our core values. Now with our vision, this was collectively developed with our trustees. It focuses on academic excellence and preparing students for the future. And our mission is providing equitable opportunities for all students to ensure that they're reaching their full potential. We established 5 core values. I particularly remember this conversation. We tend to say students first in our school district. And the conversation is we're stating the obvious. We are putting students first, but how are we putting students first? So we were able to come up with 5 core values: excellence and continuous improvement, equity and social justice, student voice and empowerment, communication, empathy, and respect. And the 5th one is collaboration. If you look at the middle of the document, you're going to find 4 strategic pillars, and those 4 strategic pillars are supporting our belief statements. The 4 areas are academic excellence and instructional coherence, and we really focus on equity, access, and inclusion. And through our conversations after the board agenda was posted with the trustee, there was an interest in including the word justice in some of these sentences. So equity, access, inclusion, and we can consider putting justice there as well. Student success, and also making sure that we have an engaging curriculum and effective instruction to make sure that our students are learning. Underneath that 2nd pillar is safe and inclusive environment. As I think back to the stakeholder engagement events that we did throughout the year, our students were very clear. They have an active interest in making sure that we have a safe and inclusive environment, particularly around social and emotional learning. And you'll find that social emotional learning and family community partnerships fall underneath that pillar. Our 3rd pillar is organizational alignment and fiscal stewardship. I think this we live this year, making sure that our financial management resources are efficient and we're able to sustain them for the future. And also workforce capacity, sustainability, and professional growth also falls under the 3rd pillar. Our 4th pillar is systems, communication, and accountability, making sure that we have transparent systems, two-way communications with all of our educational partners, making sure that we have data literacy and we're using that data for continuous improvement throughout our work. And also accountability and reporting, making sure we're holding ourselves accountable and we're sharing our results with our community annually and making sure that we're making the necessary adjustments to improve our practices. At the bottom of the page, you're going to find goals and outcomes, which are to increase academic achievement, improve student well-being and safety, financial responsibility, and making sure that we're building systems of accountability for continuous improvement. And then off to the right on the bottom of that page, you're going to find a timeline. Now, unfortunately, our organization, as we do a deep dive in the study, we have a lot of foundational work to do. So as you look at that, year 1 is a foundation year. We did an excellent job on creating doing some foundational work this year. But in order to accomplish the North Star goals that we have, we are going to have to do some foundational work next year as well. Year number 2, we call the implementation year. And then 3 and 4, we're going to monitor and adjust, and then we're going to sustain and improve. I do want to note that the last time you saw this document publicly, there were a couple of areas that were not reflected on this document. And again, this was a continuous process. We were having conversations with our educational partners. I had a meeting with our new coordinator of English of EL, and it was interesting. I was talking about how much support we want to give to our English language learners, and she looked at me and said, "Well, it's not reflected on that North Star document, Damon." So we had to go back to the lab and take a look at that, and she was right. It was not. So you'll find that we included English language learner under Pillar 1. We've had a lot of work with our labor partners and looking at that. We did not have our labor partners outlined on this document, so we did include that under Pillar 4 and board and governance, right? This is an opportunity for us. If we're holding our entire organization accountable, and when I say board governance, I mean executive cabinet and the governing board, we have an opportunity to model this work and hold ourselves accountable so our organization can watch and model what we're doing. So there's an opportunity for us to do that, and I felt that that was important. So I did include that under Pillar 4 as well. Since this was posted online, there's been some conversations with trustees, and there was some interest in adding some additional goals and metrics to support them. And I just want to outline them. I do have them written out and I will share them with you at the end. But just to give you an idea of what those topics were, there was a strong interest in including language to serve advanced learners. So as you look at our document, we tend to focus on students who may require additional support to reach grade level and proficiency. But we do have some advanced learners there that needed the same level. They need rigor in order so they can advance and reach their individual goals as well. So we did write a goal and some metrics to support our advanced learners and 360 evaluations, right? This was something that we've been talking about throughout this year. At least I have been in some of my one-on-one meetings with our trustees. I have an interest in modeling a 360 evaluation. And I shouldn't say evaluation, I should say 360 feedback process, because it's technically not an evaluation, but it's a way to get feedback from all educational partners to inform our practice and improve our practice. And there's an interest in modeling that, and then also have our administrators doing that as well. So I do have a draft goal and some metrics to support that that I could share with you in the end. So in looking at this document, if you're looking at it online, it's page 2. If you have a printed out copy, this is actually going to be on the back side of the North Star document. And it's and what that does is it provides additional context to the document. In education, we have a tendency to speak in acronyms and use EduSpeak, and we assume that we know that everyone understands what we're talking about. So the backside of the North Star document is a glossary of terms to define some of the EduSpeak that we have in the North Star document. We also established metrics. Throughout the year, we talked a lot about accountability, return on investments, and how are we going to establish metrics to support our work. And the sense of urgency. So the accountability metrics that we have will outline how we're going to measure the progress towards our goals and our desired outcomes. I've got to say that as a district, SCUSD, I believe that we should be achieving at much higher levels across all areas. I don't think I've been quiet about that. I think we have talented staff members, we have outstanding students, and we have the resources to be one of the best districts in the state, and I think that's what we need to strive for. But as we start putting together the metrics, as you look at our baseline scores and the gradual increases that we're recommending in our metrics for the proposed targets, it may be difficult to look at, and it was for me. And I still remember when our director Lewis came in with some projected proposed metrics, there was a long pause, and it was hard. It was really hard to take a look at. And then he explained and advocated as to why we needed to use these metrics. Director Lewis and his Ed Services team, they did an analysis of school districts across the state, including more than 15 counties and most comparable to Santa Clara Unified. We looked at the growth trends from the CASP assessments, which is our state test, and we considered baseline data. We looked at our SCUSD historical performance, also performance of comparable school districts, and some of the statewide trends that we see annually. And based on this analysis, we established the targets that we believe that are ambitious, but also achievable, right? There's some districts that will say that we want 10 to 15% growth every year until we get 100%. And while that's very ambitious, sometimes you have to ask, is that really attainable? I will say that although our goals, the goal that does not, where we set our goals does not mean that we're not striving for 100% growth. That's what we're striving for. I've yet to walk into a classroom and see a teacher say, hey, we only need to make 3% growth on our strategic plan, so I'm only going to teach the 3% of the students. We're trying to get every single student in our system to be proficient in all areas. But we feel that with the metrics that we've established in this document, that not only are they achievable, but if we reach those benchmark targets that we set out, then we know that the strategies that we have in place are working. And then we can make adjustments accordingly. At our last governing, I don't know if it was our last meeting, a couple meetings ago, we had a conversation about how are we going to report data? What is going to be the sequence of our data reporting? And my answer today is still, it depends. I will say that we are going to look at our assessment calendar, and anytime that we have available data to share, we're going to share them multiple ways. Friday updates, one-on-one meetings, and also in my superintendent's report at governing board meetings. And also when you have data requests and data that we can pull and share, we can do that what I call informally. But I also believe in terms of this North Star document and the metrics that we have in place, there should be 2 formal reports out per year. I want to do a mid-year progress report to give you an update on where we are. And then at the end of the year in May, and that would be I foresee that at a regular board meeting. And then at the end of the year, probably in May, early May, I foresee doing a day-long workshop in which the first half of the day, staff is giving an update on all of the metrics so that you get an idea on how we did this year and where we are. And the second half of that day gives us an opportunity to reflect and also plan and revise this plan for the following year so that we have a game plan going into the next year. So that's how I foresee the data discussions going in terms of the North Star process. So I did say that before, as we develop this presentation, I was going to say we recommend that you approve the plan as written, but we did make some adjustments since this document was posted. So I just want to verbally share, because I didn't have enough, I couldn't put it on the document. We talked about how are we going to support some of our advanced learners. The metrics would read, by June 2027, convene a work group to explore what educational research says regarding best practices in supporting advanced learners in heterogeneous K-12 setting. By June 2028, roll out research-based high-impact strategies for supporting advanced learners. And by June 2028, monitor and adjust high-impact strategies with the intention of developing universal classroom resources that support advanced learners. By June 2029, expand classroom resources that support advanced learners district-wide. And then by June 2030, it would be sustain and approve district-wide implementation of universal classroom resources that support advanced learners. And then the second goal and metrics that we're proposing for consideration is the 360 evaluation goal and metrics for SCUSD administrators. And that would actually fall under Pillar 3, Focus Area 2. And the goal would be to strengthen continuous growth and professional development amongst district administrators by utilizing educational partner feedback to provide a well-rounded view of leadership competencies. The metrics would read as follows. By June 2027, develop a performance management system for district leadership positions that utilize a comprehensive research-based 360 evaluation model. And by June 2027, pilot a research-based 360-degree evaluation model among select district leadership positions, and we would revise as needed. And then by June 2028, we'll implement a research-based 360-degree evaluation model among all identified district leadership positions. And again, if you're not familiar with the 360 evaluation, it's not necessarily an evaluative tool, it's more of a feedback tool that all stakeholders, so you would, an administrator would give it to their staff. If I'm a site administrator, I would give it to my staff, I would give it to my parents, I would give it to my supervisors, just so you have a well-rounded view of feedback that you can use to improve your practice. It's not necessarily evaluative, but it's just to improve your practice. So we were suggesting that we implement something of that sort. And so I know that you may have some questions, and obviously our staff's recommendation is to improve the North Star document with the revisions that were shared this evening for consideration. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Trustee Fairchild.
Thank you, and thank you, Dr. Wright, and to staff for all of your hard work. I feel like we've had a lot of opportunity to discuss this along the way, so I would like to make a motion to approve the North Star document.
Well, nobody else will second. Roderman.
have a second, but thank you, trustee Rotterman. Trustee Canova.
So the question that I have is, like, for example, in developing a 360, that'll take several years, and that's understandable. But one, for any metric for students where we don't achieve the goal for, say, 3 years out or 4 years out, for us, we understand that as an organization, but for our students who have a short time with us, they're not reaping the fruits or the rewards of that work and that effort. It's occurring after they, in some cases, have left the district. So do we have any fallback or stopgap measures? If we're identifying something that we want to have for our students in, say, 4 years' time, what are we doing with the students that we have in the meantime to try to get as much benefit to them as we can while the district is working towards that larger goal?
Yeah, and I'll answer part of that question, and then I'm gonna hand it over to Ed Services to also talk about what we're doing. As we develop the strategic plan, it's not necessarily about what we're doing 4 years down the line, because we're working hard every day right now to make sure that our students are achieving. This year, we did some work with Tier 1 instruction to make sure that every student next year has a solid receives outstanding instruction from all of our teachers in all of our classrooms. So when you walk into any classroom in this district, you should see some similarities. Professional development with teachers. There's just a number of things that we're doing to make sure that our students are achieving right now. And I'm gonna have Ed Services also jump into the conversation to discuss some of the strategies that we're using to make sure that our students are hitting the mark right now.
I think I'll just add on to what you were saying about the teacher clarity, right? We spent a whole year talking about what instructional strategy was going to be to make the most sense to have that consistency in every single classroom, like Dr. Wright mentioned. All of our professional learning for the 4 professional learning days are focused on teacher clarity. At the elementary level, they will be looking at teacher clarity through writing and with a specific lens on ELD standards as well. And then at the secondary level, all of our 6th through 12th grade teachers and all of our student-facing classified staff, classroom student-facing classified staff will also be in these trainings together. I think it's the first time in a long time that all of our classified staff members will be learning the same thing as the teachers. So we're really excited about the coherence that Dr. Wright mentioned before. And I think that the beauty of teacher clarity is that every classroom will post and talk about learning intentions, what they're going to be learning, why they're going to be learning it, and what success looks like. And so with that explicit articulation of those 3 things, both the teachers have additional clarity about what they're teaching, why they're teaching it, and more importantly, our students have an understanding of what they're learning and why they're learning it and what success looks like, so they can monitor their own learning along the way. The other part about our secondary teachers and staff who will be learning about teacher clarity, all of that will be through ELD standards as well, because they all have different content areas, but every single content area should be implementing ELD standards in the classroom every day. So that's the lens that the secondary staff will be looking at this work through. I think that over the course of the last several years, we've had some really important, deep, thoughtful conversations about the need for instructional framework and a more articulated instructional framework in the district. And this is the first step in that. As I mentioned, we're looking at learning intentions and success criteria in the first year, but there's like 6 different things that make up the perfect teacher clarity work. So in subsequent years, we'll be looking at the formative assessments that we've been talking a lot about and ensuring that our teachers and staff are working together in PLCs to be creating those common formative assessments, at the site level, at the department level, using our new databases to create those assessments and collect the data from those assessments so that we can utilize the data to inform our instruction and figure out what the gaps are in our students' learning so we can address their needs more quickly, more efficiently, and more effectively.
Trustee Watanabe.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Wright. And I know a lot of work has gone into it, and thank you to everybody that's contributed over the last year. I just want to add something that I appreciate that you pointed out was the glossary and the key terms being explained on the back of the document, because I know that's one issue that I have a lot of problems with sometimes is the acronyms. So I'm glad that there's a glossary so people will understand. I appreciate the fact that of the reporting cadence that you've created, because I think, with the goal of communications being first and foremost, I mean, across so many levels, I think it's a good plan, and it will ensure that goal of having good communications. I guess the only question I have is because this is going to be something new, and there are going to be different programs being looked at, how instructions taking place, making sure that everybody has what they need. We've passed the budget for the year. I mean, do we have like a padding in the budget, like in case there's any like additional additions that need to be made as a result of these changes, or how is that covered?
Yeah, when we build a budget, we don't pad our budget. But if there's necessary to bring any budget adjustments to the board, those will be presented to the board at the appropriate time.
Trustee Ryan.
Thank you for the presentation and all of the work that's gone into this. I just had a quick question. I know you were reading a bunch of things that are going to be happening in the next year, and I was trying to find them in the presentation, but are those additions? And maybe I missed you.
Which part
So you
specifically?
were talking about the 360 and all of those things.
Yes.
Are they in the presentation now, or could we get?
I can give you a copy because it's not in the presentation,
Okay.
because we actually had some after the agenda was posted, we
Yeah.
had some conversations with trustees. So we actually wrote those within the last couple of days.
Okay, that's
So
fine.
we can share those out.
I just couldn't take notes fast enough. So
Okay,
if I
no,
could get a
I
copy
have
of
them
that.
written out, and I can make sure I share it with all the trustees.
Great, thank you. That was the only question.
Trustee Muirhead.
Thank you, and I really appreciate all the work that's gone in by a lot of people to get to this point. This is a launching point, but there's a lot of work that gets to this, and now it's on you to execute. So have fun.
Yeah.
But I also really appreciate how you and others were really listening to comments. Both I saw my comments reflected in the document, and I'm sure others also. So I appreciate that there were a lot of voices helping to build this this plan, and some of the metrics. We've had problems with suggesting metrics and then not meeting them. And here we have more metrics. And my natural reaction is like, oh yeah, those are numbers, but what's actually going to happen? And so I'm encouraged by what you're saying, and hopeful that with having clear goals and clear teacher clarity, people know what they're supposed to be doing. I'm optimistic. I'm always optimistic, but I am optimistic about this whole plan and where it could get us in a few years. So thank you for putting it all together. And I do want to make sure that we see all these last additions. What Trustee Ryan said.
Trustee Fairchild.
Thanks, President Muirhead. Sorry. I've had some medication adjustments. I really like the plan, but one of the things I want to be clear about is that the real work is actually not what we're approving tonight. The real work is going to be getting everyone to buy into this plan and everyone to join in the work. This is why we're here. We've had lots of plans, as you know, 60 of them. And the people that are going to be making these plans work are actually, there's a couple in this room, but aren't really in this room. The people that are going to be making these plans work are the teachers and the staff that are in the schools. And these are the ones that we need to have completely bought into this plan. And that's what we need to have happen between now and the beginning of the school year. One of the things that I appreciate about this plan over other plans that I've seen in the past is what you said about ambitious but achievable. Sometimes we think that if we make these really great lofty goals, that makes the plan better. It doesn't necessarily make the plan better. Sometimes it makes the plan seem ridiculous. And we want to be inspired. We don't want to be intimidated by the goal. And so I appreciate that we have ambitious but achievable goals that we can meet. But I also want us to remember that our work, the work after we approve this plan, is to get everyone to be bought in. That's the hard work between now and the beginning of the school year and throughout the school year so that we can get this work done. I believe we have educators that are passionate about serving our kids and want to serve our kids, but they've seen a lot of plans over the last few years, and they want to follow a plan that's going to be here for a while. And so let's all row in the same direction towards this North Star. Thank you.
This plan makes me giddy. Like, I love everything about it. I'm so excited to see something that looks achievable, and it's presented in a way that is understandable and accessible, and that I think is a really big deal. One of the things that I brought up that in our discussions about this that you didn't mention, but I just wanted to say publicly is that I would like to see in Pillar 1 Focus 2 reference to CTE instruction, because we talk a lot about supporting all students reaching their full potential, and for some students that's not college, that's a vocation, and I would like to see them included in this document. And then and I did ask to see the word justice in here, because equity and inclusion and all of those things, they mean something, but to me, justice is removing systemic barriers to achievement. And I want to make sure that that's part of our plan, is that we're looking at our system and saying, what are the barriers to allowing all kids to achieve in our district? And so that's why I asked for the word justice. I'm so giddy about this. I can't even articulate it, because we've had so many plans and they've all had these lofty goals, as Trustee Fairchild has said. And when you don't reach those goals, it's a discouragement. It's, ugh, we can't do this. What are we doing wrong? And when you make these goals achievable, there's success. And once you taste success, you're inspired to keep going. And so that excites me about this. Okay, so we've all had a go round.
Maybe one more. Thank you very much. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so listen, first off, I want to commend Superintendent Wright and the cabinet and the North Star, one, for all the work they put into this, but also for their rapid response to inquiries. I made quite a few inquiries in about things that concerned me about the plan, and I got very timely, very competent, excellent responses back, which I greatly appreciated. As a matter of fact, if there's a way to have those responses, because I think they were really well done, put together in a way they could be shared with the rest of the board where we don't violate a Brown Act or something, I would greatly appreciate that. I think it would be beneficial to everyone. Not my necessarily part, but the answers to the questions I asked. Also, I still have some concerns about early literacy. I thought it was a little weak in the program, the way we're addressing it, and there were some good responses as to why that won't be a problem, but it's still there. I really appreciate the comments back about including explicit inclusion, and there may be a pun in there somewhere about the high achieving students. I think that was an excellent, I really appreciate that inclusion. And going back to the budget issue, one thing that's happened occasionally in the past, and not necessarily with this administration, but the board will approve a project or a program or something like that. And later we'll find the program didn't implement the way we expected it to. And the response was, well, we didn't have enough money in the budget for it. So one of the things, I mean, this is slightly addressed by one of the other trustees, but one of the things I'd like to make sure that we do is if it turns out that we have a budget shortfall or a budget that's restricting our ability to implement this the way we intended it to, that'd be brought back to the board and the board take a look at amending the budget or not, depending on what we think is the appropriate action there. But I'd like to make sure we have that look-see so that the things that we expected to see happen actually occur. This is a remarkable step. I think that I'm very impressed with all the work that went into it. Sometimes when you go through one of these things, you start to get very nitpicky and you want everything just perfect the way you want it. And I think I even used the old somewhat hackneyed phrase, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. I think that you've got a very good plan put together. And so I'm excited about seeing how it rolls out. One of the things that I've been privately assured multiple times by, can you all still hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Every so often you'll cut out. I can't tell when that's happening, but assured by
Andy, you've exceeded your time.
Well, I'm almost through, and it's a compliment. So, by Superintendent Wright is that the academic achievement will be in the forefront, and the students that are currently in the system will be addressed. That sounds good. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think we're ready to vote. I have a motion from Trustee Fairchild and a second from Trustee Muirhead to approve the North Star document. Trustee Canova.
Yes.
Trustee Fairchild.
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead.
Yes.
Trustee Rotterman.
Yes.
Trustee Ryan. Trustee Watanabe.
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 7-0. Okay. Action item L1, the appointment of assistant principal for Scott Lane Elementary. Ms. Jocelyn.
Good evening, President Lieberman, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Wright. It is a pleasure to introduce Sara Perez, who joins us with over 20 years of dedicated experience as a bilingual instructional leader, specifically focused on serving multilingual learners and champion educational equity. Sara is deeply rooted in the Santa Clara Unified Family, currently serving as an elementary ELD TOSA, where she has led district-wide initiatives, managed EL master plan implementation, and facilitated professional learning for over 180 educators. Her leadership extends to administrative roles as well, having served as principal and vice principal for one of our EL and ML Summer Academy programs. As a passionate advocate for bilingual education, Spanish language curriculum, and biliteracy instruction, Sara is uniquely aligned with Scott Lane's elementary dual immersion identity. She brings a collaborative relationship, first leadership style, and a profound commitment to building a school culture where every student feels seen, every family feels valued, and every educator is supported to thrive.
Move to approve.
Second.
Trustee Canova.
Yes.
Trustee Fairchild.
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead.
Yes.
Trustee Rotterman.
Yes.
Trustee Ryan.
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe.
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 7-0. L2, appointment of a vice principal for Wilcox High School.
It is a pleasure to introduce Craig Williams, who joins Wilcox High School with a wealth of administrative experience and a deep commitment to student success. Craig currently serves as the assistant principal at Lee High School in the Campbell Union High School District, a role he has excelled in for the past 10 years. Prior to that, he served as the Dean of Students at Moreland Middle School and began his career teaching algebra and geometry in San Jose. Throughout his decade in high school administration, Craig has championed a restorative approach to student discipline, focusing on mentorship, accountability, and growth. Described by colleagues as a compassionate, consistent, and fair person, Greg is a relationship-driven leader who works tirelessly to ensure families feel partnered with and teachers feel supported. He brings an enthusiastic, collaborative spirit and a genuine dedication to fostering a safe, welcoming culture for the entire Wilcox community.
Move to approve, Ryan?
Second, Muirhead.
Trustee Canova?
Yes.
Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead?
Yes.
Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe?
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 7-0. Item L3, appointment of a purchasing manager.
It is a pleasure to introduce Timothy, he goes by Tony Crapo, who joined Santa Clara Unified with over 24 years of public procurement experience within California district schools, school districts, and county government. For the past decade, Tony has served as the Director of Purchasing and Support Services for the Sequoia Union High School District, where he expertly managed purchasing, contracting, warehousing, asset management, and a highly successful expansion of the district's print shop operations. Known for driving innovation, Tony successfully transitioned his previous district to a fully electronic, paperless workflow, and he played an integral role in managing solicitations for a $590 million bond program. A deeply involved leader in the educational community, he currently serves as the CASBO South Bay Section Procurement Professional Council Chair, and he holds both CASBO CBO and Certified Public Procurement Officer designations. Tony brings a powerful blend of regulatory expertise, operational creativity, and a strong commitment to service that will greatly benefit our district's purchasing and support operations.
Move to approve.
Second, Fairchild.
Trustee Canova?
Yes.
Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead?
Yes.
Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe?
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 7-0. L4, 2025-2026 Teacher Assignment Alignment, Middle and High School Local Options Compliance.
Move to approve, Fairchild.
Second, Muirhead.
Trustee Canova?
Yes.
Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead?
Yes.
Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe?
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 7-0. L5, 2026-2027 Declaration of Need for Fully Qualified Educators, Emergency Credential.
Second, Fairchild.
Trustee Canova? Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead?
Yes.
Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe?
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 7-0. L6, 2026-2027 Memorandum of Understanding with the United Teachers of Santa Clara Secondary Co-Teaching Program.
Move to approve, Fairchild.
Second, Muirhead.
Trustee Canova?
Yes.
Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead?
Yes.
Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe?
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 7-0. L7, 2026-2027 Memorandum of Understanding with the United Teachers of Santa Clara State Preschool Co-Teaching Program.
Move to approve.
Second, Fairchild.
Trustee Canova?
Yes.
Trustee Fairchild?
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead?
Yes.
Trustee Rotterman?
Yes.
Trustee Ryan?
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe?
Yes.
And I vote yes, that passes 7-0. L8, 2026-2027 Side Letter Agreement between the Santa Clara Unified School District and the United Teachers of Santa Clara to provide release time for the UTSC president.
I have that as 10, and I actually realized I don't have a 7 or a 9.
They're
I confirmed with Mr. Shield. Could you please explain?
So when we published the agenda, there was a glitch in the software that we use.
Okay.
And so that caused some of the numbering to be off.
Okay.
If you look online now, all of the numbering has been fixed.
Okay.
The vendor that we use has corrected the glitch on their side.
Want to make sure I was looking at the right thing.
It's posted as number 8.
It is posted as
Yes.
number 8.
Okay, so I need a motion and a
Move-
second.
Move to approve.
Second.
Trustee Canova,
Yes.
trustee Fairchild,
Yes.
trustee Muirhead,
Yes.
trustee Rotterman,
Yes.
trustee Ryan,
No.
trustee Watanabe,
Yes.
and I vote yes. That passes 6-1 with trustee Ryan voting no. M1, Resolution 2648, ratifying a contract termination and release agreement, Harry L. Murphy Incorporated, Bracker Elementary School Modernization Project.
Move to approve.
Second, Fairchild.
Trustee Canova,
Yes.
trustee Fairchild,
Yes.
trustee Muirhead, trustee Rotterman,
Yes.
trustee Ryan,
Yes.
trustee Watanabe,
Yes.
and I vote yes. That passes 7-0. M2, Resolution 2649, award a contract with BT Mancini for the Bracker Elementary School Modernization Project.
Move to approve.
Second, Fairchild.
Trustee Canova,
Yes.
trustee Fairchild,
Yes.
trustee Muirhead,
Yes.
trustee Rotterman,
Yes.
trustee Ryan,
Yes.
trustee Watanabe,
Yes.
and I vote yes. That passes 7-0. M3, Resolution 2650, ratifying a contract termination and release agreement, Harry L. Murphy Incorporated, Westwood Elementary School Modernization Project.
To approve.
Second, Fairchild.
Trustee Canova,
Yes.
trustee Fairchild,
Yes.
trustee Muirhead,
Yes.
trustee Rotterman,
Yes.
trustee Ryan,
Yes.
trustee Watanabe,
Yes.
and I vote yes. That passes 7-0. M4, Resolution 2651, award a contract to BT Mancini Corporation Incorporated for bid package 9.5, flooring for the Westwood Elementary School Modernization Project.
To approve.
Second, Fairchild.
Trustee Canova,
Yes.
trustee Fairchild,
Yes.
trustee Muirhead,
Yes.
trustee Rotterman,
Yes.
trustee Ryan,
Yes.
trustee Watanabe,
Yes.
and I vote yes. That passes 7-0. M5, grant agreement with the San Francisco 49ers Foundation.
Move to approve.
Second, Fairchild.
Trustee Canova,
Yes.
trustee Fairchild,
Yes.
trustee Muirhead, trustee Rotterman,
Yes.
trustee Ryan,
Yes.
trustee Watanabe,
Yes.
trustee, and I vote yes. That passes 7-0. M6, Resolution 2652, certifying the California Environmental Quality Act Final Initial Study Mitigated Negative Declaration, adopting the Mitigation Monitoring and Reporting Program, and approving the Townsend Field Improvement Project.
Move to approve, Fairchild.
Second, Muirhead.
And Mr. Shield is trying to get.
Mr.
this in.
Shield.
Good evening. In front of you this evening are some additional changes to the resolution item, M6, that's attached to it. I want to thank Director Healy. She has been working around the clock to go ahead and close out the various mitigations associated with this. In front of you this evening is a red line version of some various changes that would need to be that would be incorporated into this agreement. These attachments will also be uploaded to the agenda later this evening, but they are provided for you also, so these are as amended.
So if I can talk, I don't believe I have a copy of those amended agreements. Is that correct?
We will get those emailed to you.
Okay, so well, I'm going to just abstain on this vote because I don't have it in front of me. Thank you.
Trustee Muirhead.
So we were just handed the red line, so I haven't had a chance to look through it all, but it looks like there's a number of things about Native American tribe where they might have, we might want to consult with them, and just what caught my eye is something about, find it again. Historical resource. And I was wondering, is this only related to Native American historical artifacts, or is it related at all to the facility itself, like the current bleachers?
No, so all the mitigations are due to the fact that this is an architecturally, archaeologically sensitive area. being so close to the mission, as well as being in between two creeks. And so all of the mitigations are for actually what we could potentially find in the soil while we're digging. So we could find artifacts, and all the red lines are comments that we received from specifically 2 Native American tribes. And they have requested, in addition to our first mitigation, was having a full-time archaeologist on site when we're doing ground disturbing activities, but the archaeologists aren't necessarily qualified to identify Native American artifacts. And so they look for different things. And you may recall when we were installing the recycled water line through the track, we did find an kind of what is technically a garbage pit, but it was from an early development in the 1900s from a house that used to be on the property. And so because it's more than 50 years old, it's considered historic now. And so we did have to identify that and send it up. And so it's now documented officially through Sonoma State, which is where we send all that information. And so because of that find, and there was also another find 300 feet north of the school that was a Native American pestle, portion of a pestle, and that was found a few years ago. And so as part of CEQA, we do have to reach out to Native American tribes, and they have to respond to us and tell us how they would like us to deal with these types of things when they happen. And so we had originally proposed just calling them and having someone on call if we found something. And multiple tribes requested that we actually have someone full-time on the site when we are doing earth moving activities. So what that looks like and what the duration of that will still be negotiated after CEQA was done, but before we start the project. So we have a few months to negotiate with each of the tribes and find out what that looks like to them. We're hoping that it won't be the entire time that we're touching the soil, but maybe when we're just doing the deeper, when we're doing the field and putting in new bleachers and the foundations for that. And then once we're above that level again, we're hoping that we can have them back on call. But those contracts with those 2 individuals who will be on site will come to the board for approval at a later meeting once those contracts are negotiated.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that you reached out to the tribes and that they responded, and we've got some agreement about how to move forward. So thank you.
I have a couple questions. Are there any procedures we have to follow when we're digging to prevent inadvertent damage to historical artifacts? Or do we just dig as we normally would, and if we break something, we break something?
Yes, so one of the reasons that the Native American tribes wanted an expert on site is that they can tell if there's like if the backhoe or the bulldozer is coming through, and they can tell when the soil looks a little different. And so maybe there could potentially be something under there. So we start out doing everything as we normally would. And then if they see a disturbance in the soil, they'll tell them to stop and tell them to go slower, or they will direct them as to how they want them to try to investigate to see if something is there or not, and then they can proceed.
Okay. And then if in some circumstance, the human remains are found, how is that handled? And then how long could a potential delay, how long, does that completely stop the project until they figure everything out? Like what happens?
So any find actually stops the project within 100 feet of that find. So even if it's say an arrowhead or whatever it is, it stops it until the expert determines what it is, if there's more there, if we have to hand dig around to find out if it's a single item or if there's more. And depending on how large the find is, that would determine how long the closure of the project could be. So
Okay.
If there were something that was very, very culturally important, human remains, then the coroner gets involved, the Native American Heritage Commission gets involved. They need to determine which tribe those remains belong to. And so that could take a very lengthy process.
And then the work is halted while that's happening.
Yes.
Correct.
So that would be something we would work out with the tribe. So whether we just keep that 100-foot buffer around that zone and we continue with the rest of the project, or whether it shuts the whole project down, that's something that would be determined based on what the find was.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Mr. Shield.
The other thing I would just say is this project is obviously in collaboration and cooperation with the San Francisco 49ers and the 49ers Foundation. So I have had conversations with our contact over there as well. They are aware of this extra level of mitigation as the part of this project. So I've been having conversations with them. They're aware.
Trustee Canova.
And that kind of ties into my question. And I love history, and it's so important that we're very respectful, completely support all of this. But I was just curious about, you could extrapolate this out to be, depending upon what might be found, it could really lengthen the timeline and the expenses could be quite significant. What you just said, does that suggest that the Niners would be helpful in mitigating that kind of outcome?
That is not what I'm trying to say. I am more of trying to say that we have been in open collaboration and communication with them. I will not speak for their financial involvement.
I'll follow that very quickly then. If that were to occur, then it's the district's paying for whatever that turns out to be in terms of the timeline being extended, professional staff on site, the district pays for all of that.
Yeah, I would say that, as Ms. Healy mentioned, when we were laying the recycle water lines, we had an instance, and that was something that we had to address. We have contingency budgets within all of our construction projects. There's been multiple times over the last decades where we've had unforeseen circumstances that have happened, and we've had to address them as appropriately. And we would continue to do the same thing with this project as we do with all of our other projects.
Okay.
Trustee
Ryan.
I was gonna say, in my professional life, I actually help facilitate some courses on historic preservation and management with projects related to the military. And so, especially with tribal negotiations and how you have to handle things. And so it's interesting to see it from, on a different type of project.
Okay. So I have a motion from Trustee Fairchild and a second from Trustee Muirhead. Trustee Canova.
Yes.
Trustee Fairchild.
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead. Trustee Rotterman.
Abstain?
Trustee Ryan.
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe.
Yes.
And I vote yes. That passes 6-0-1 with Trustee Rotterman abstaining. M7 RFQP 2627011 for the former Martinson Child Development Center.
Move to approve Fairchild.
Trustee Canova.
Yes.
Trustee Fairchild.
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead. Trustee Rotterman.
Yes.
Trustee Ryan.
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe.
Yes.
And I vote yes. That passes 7-0. M8 RFQP 2627012 for the former Monticello Elementary Campus.
Second Fairchild.
Trustee Canova.
Yes.
Trustee Fairchild.
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead. Trustee Rotterman.
Yes.
Trustee Ryan.
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe.
Yes.
And I vote yes. That passes 7-0. Action item N1, consideration of the reinstatement of expelled with suspended enforcement student 052225A.1. Do I have a motion to accept the reinstatement of student 052225A.1? Motion, I need a motion.
So moved Fairchild.
Motion by Trustee Fairchild and seconded by Trustee Muirhead. Roll call vote, Trustee Canova.
Yes.
Trustee Fairchild.
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead. Yes. Trustee Rotterman.
Yes.
Trustee Ryan.
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe.
Yes.
And I vote yes. That passes by a vote of 7-0. Item N2, consideration of the waiver of administrative hearing for student 062526A.1. Do I have a motion to accept the waiver of administrative hearing dated June 3rd, 2026 for the expulsion with a suspended enforcement through June 25th, 2027, with a change of placement from Santa Clara High School to New Valley High School, and a rehabilitation plan for student 62526A.1, and that student 62526A.1 can apply for reinstatement at the end of the expulsion term, June 25th, 2027.
Second.
Motion by Board Member Muirhead and a second by Board Member Fairchild. Trustee Canova.
Yes.
Trustee Fairchild.
Yes.
Trustee Muirhead. Trustee Rotterman.
Yes.
Trustee Ryan.
Yes.
Trustee Watanabe.
Yes.
And I vote yes. That passes by a vote of 7-0. Information items 01. First reading board bylaw, board policy exhibit updates recommended from the policy committee meeting on June 9th, 2026. Any questions on those? Okay, those will come back. 02, 2025-2026 Williams Valenzuela fourth quarterly report. Questions? Okay. Q1 reports from the board. Trustee Fairchild.
Have a great summer.
Trustee Muirhead.
Yes, just have a good summer.
Trustee Watanabe.
I went to a fun event on Sunday at Wilcox High School, and it was a family fun day, and it involved the San Francisco Unicorns, who is the local, or I guess the Bay Area cricket team, professional cricket team, and it was a wonderful event. And I just have to say, I was so glad to see the school property being used in that way. I understand last year they had it at McDonald's, and so it was just just incredibly attended event, and all the players were there. They were introduced. The kids were. They had like a training camp for the kids, playing cricket, assigning the bats. It was just a great family day, and it was on Father's Day, so there were a lot of fathers there too. So anyway, it was just a really great event, and I learned that we have a professional cricket team in the area. They play at the Oakland Coliseum, and if anybody wants to go to any games this summer, it sounds like they've got a good schedule there this summer. And then just today, I apologize for being late today. I attended Rod Diridon Sr.'s memorial service at the Civic Center down in San Jose this afternoon, and just want to say how well attended it was, and so many speakers, and just a reminder of just what a wonderful man he was, the father of transportation, the father of the environment, and just has left such a wonderful legacy in the city of Santa Clara. So it was a real honor to be able to attend that today. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Trustee Canova.
No, I apologize. I was late. I live right next to Levi Stadium, and so FIFA's going on, but a lot to be proud of there. I mean, the whole world's eyes are on Levi Stadium for quite a while. I mean, I think there's another week or more of games. Yeah. It's just really incredible to see the number of people that are in our area attending these games. It's just really a big success. I got to break in my new glasses for this meeting, and I noticed that everybody looks younger. And happy summer to everybody.
Trustee Ryan.
Just have a good summer, everyone.
Trustee Rotterman.
Yes, just one quick save the date. I'm running a blood drive with the Red Cross and Rotary, July 29th from 11 to 5 at the American Legion Hall. Would love to see every one of you make a contribution, as well as anybody else in there that would be interested in helping save lives. The second thing is, the reason I'm not there at the meeting, I think most of you know, but my son is getting married, I should say, on June 30th in Aruba. And so I'm down here for the wedding. So the rest of that, enjoy the rest of your summer. Thanks.
Okay. Happy summer, everyone. And then we will see you here again on July 17th. Okay. At 5 p.m.
5 or 6? 5. 6.
6? Okay. Sorry.
6
p.m. on July 17th. Okay. Could I please get a motion to adjourn?
Second, Fairchild.
Trustee Canova,
Yes.
trustee Fairchild,
Yes.
trustee Mearham, trustee Rotterman,
Yes.
trustee Ryan,
Yes.
trustee Watanabe,
Yes.
and I vote yes. That passes 7-0. We are adjourned at 8:06. Thank you.
Thank you.